Okay, now it should be using the Yeti. Okay, there's really weird static sound on the background. Sorry, I moved my mic a bit. Yeah, that's good enough. If you hear panting sounds, that's Ruka. He's sitting right next to me. And I'm really sorry that I had to change the plans because I had a bit of technical difficulties. I try to be really silent here, but I'm sorry if you hear loud knocks because I had to move my keyboard. Hi Boxer Paint. Yeah, good to know that everybody knows nowadays, like my dog. Actually, when if I'm having like work meetings through from home, I always have to apologize beforehand because Ruka is often panting right next to Mike. I don't know why he does that. Yeah, I got that bunny dish. Actually, I got this from AliExpress, and it is like meant for watercolors. And it's actually really smart because the bunny it's actually moving. Like it's not attached to the bottom, so it's really easy to clean. But what I actually find the best is that it helps when you want to clean the brush, because I'm like one of those that like usually flicks brush on the edge, but with the bunny you can just like stroke the bunny. It's like, oh, and clean and wet your brush thoroughly. So today I'm going to paint bunnies, and also if you noticed, my streaming is different. I moved and different location. I'm currently living in my own house, so I'm not in the apartment anymore, and also that means my streaming setup changed because now I'm streaming from my computer desk. And this completely new desk, it's really small. It's like triangle, so it's really far from ideal. Also, my PC tower is right next to me. You may hear some humming sounds coming from that. And of course Ruka. And yeah, and I have like stairs right next to me, so if you hear really loud thump 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 sound, that is Ruka going up or down stairs. He's really loud when he goes to stairs, and I find it just like really funny. And actually, when I was starting to stream, I was meant to be streaming on my MacBook, on my other desk, which is like my art desk, but I couldn't get it work. Like, no. I have a new webcam also, the Logitech Prio, but the Prio didn't want to connect to the MacBook. I don't know why, but I had like, I actually bought even the second cable that is like USB-C, and should like be, it was the most, like, it has all wires connected and it should be working with the Prio, but it didn't work. And yeah, so I had to like use my PC. But I try to find adapter or hub or something so I can stream from the other desk, because this is all the space I have. I can only fit like a small Moleskine sketchbook here, so I can barely stream on this desk. It's like an echo when she bounces down the stairs. Yeah, same with Ruka. And especially in the night time, I feel that Ruka is really making sure that everybody hears that he is stomping downstairs. Yeah, this is really old sketchbook. It's from 2016, and yeah, I'm not even knowing what sketches are here, but I try to sketch more bunnies. And Ruka may bark at some point because my boyfriend is coming home in the middle of my stream. But oh my, I really had to vent about the technical difficulties I had because I'm feeling so bad because I have like I'm a mechanical engineer and I work with programming and I have quite vast knowledge of computers. And still I couldn't get that webcam work on the MacBook. Also I had other reasons as well. And one reason is that the MacBook doesn't have regular USB ports. My hand is shading the drawing a lot, so that's not ideal. I have to move the light so that the... But yeah, I like how sharp the image is now, because with this Brio the image quality is top notch. I really like it. But with the MacBook, it doesn't have USB. It has USB-C ports. Actually, I think they are Thunderbolts. But still, I couldn't get those work with the Logitech camera. And also, I only had one adapter. I was actually going to stream with the laptop mic, but because I couldn't get the camera, I just couldn't get it. And it's something that really frustrates me because I think tech should be something that is easy to use for everyone. And if like I can't even get it, the camera working, like I'm like who I should call? I work with a tech, so I feel really sorry for those who have to like fight with the tech and they don't even like have knowledge of it. And it's really frustrating even for me, even if I know that what I should be doing and it doesn't work, and it's just horrible, absolutely horrible. I'm really strong on that every tech piece should be easy to use, so easy to use and even kid could use it. Ruka, what's your parking? Ruka. Neighbor's dog is on the was on the yard, so of course Ruka decided it's good moment to park. Oh, solid brick walls. I know that my previous apartment was a really old apartment complex and all the walls were stone. So it was impossible to make Wi-Fi work. This current house is wood and I have the luxury of Wi-Fi reaching every nook of the house, even outside. And I'm super happy. I'm sorry that my neighbor's dog is on the yard and Ruka has still not managed to understand that we have our own yard and Ruka and the neighbors have own yard. Ruka! Älä hauku sille. He must bark. Yeah. Oh. But Ruka has been doing really great. Like he can walk the stairs, which I was mostly worried, and he has been also really good with the yard. Like I can keep him in the yard. He's of course in the leash, but he stays on the own yard, and leash is usually there for extra security. Yeah, he has settled really well. Only thing I find a bit odd is that he's not taking treats like he usually do. He usually is really into treats and takes those really eagerly on my hands, but now he has been not liking it. So I think it might be that he is still a little bit of stressed out of the move, but he has been settled really well. Like I was really worried about how he would be learning using the stairs, because our previous house didn't have stairs and Ruka doesn't have that much of experience But it didn't took not that much time, like learn to use those. I was really surprised. I was actually thinking it would take a week or so, but it actually took only a couple of days. And of course, moment he learned to walk on stairs was on the night when we were sleeping. And he suddenly, I heard that thump 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 sound, and then Ruka jumped on me on the bed. It was really cute. We actually live in a really similar area than we previously lived, so... Ruka, please don't knock it off. I'm mostly worried about my tripod, because my tripod is now... because my tripod is now on one leg on the floor, two legs on the table. And if my tripod falls over, my webcam will be probably falling to the stairs, because I'm actually sitting... this workplace is built over the stairs, so I'm over the staircase now. So yeah, I'm worried that Ruka will knock it over. He will be good boy, right? I can't pet you the whole streaming time. I need my hands to crawl. Oh, Ruka he is really like cuddly right now. So we have a really cute little bunny here. I will draw bunnies because I have a bunch of reference photos of the bunnies and I feel those are really easy. But the palette I have today is quite special. It's Holbein and I ordered from Stickerfic. It's web store, I think it's in Asia, but they deliver all over the world and they have really interesting selection of the art supplies. And this is their 24 set of Holbein watercolors. And these are poured in pans, but the color selection is something that really struck me, because even if it isn't the one that I chose, I would put way less reds, and there's this like pink and lilac and lavender and many these pastel tones. But I have been really liking this palette and it's really growing on me. Also, I like the compact form factor, like 24 palette, this compact. It's really nice and it's in plastic and yeah, it has been really good. Like, I was so surprised when I got this because, and the color selection seems to be, I think it's most geared towards like anime, but also it has really nice selection of browns. It has really dark sepia, burnt sienna, light red and yellow ochre, and those are really versatile browns. I would personally choose maybe burnt umber instead of burnt sienna or light red, but they work really well together. Oh, that is... I think I need to stick the bunny in the water tub with something because it would be really noisy. And the brush I'm using is Raphael. Actually, my sister got me this from Helsinki. I usually don't paint over my sketches, but I couldn't find eraser. Even if I have been living in this house like 3 weeks now, I have still some stuff that I can't find, and eraser is one of them. I have all of the moving boxes are unpacked, but still my art supplies couldn't be on the same order they used to be because I had to get rid of my other table. It was too big for this house, like this area I was going to put it in, so I had to get rid of it. It was actually good because it was really big and clumsy, and also it got a little bit damaged in the moving. So now I feel that all my art supplies are like in the places I can find them. They are not lost. I think I didn't lost anything in the move, but I have hard time to find them. I'm giving the bunny yellow ochre underpaint. Yeah, the Raphael mob is really great, and also it made me really fall in love with the mobs, because all the previous mob brushes I have been really huge, like really big mob brushes. But then I find this. I'm actually not knowing which size this was. This is. I think it is like size 2 or something, like small mob. It's perfect. It's. I just love it. It's just great. Great brush. I have my 2 other favorite travel brushes, which are a bit more used. This is Escoda. It has been quite bit in my pencil case. So it's Escoda size 2 and it's Reserva. So natural hair. It is the same I use in my regular brushes. And the other travel brush I use is Da Vinci Maestro. And the reason why I love this Maestro is because it's easy to pack. Like, you can't bend these bristles because they go under the sleeve. Also, I like the handle a bit more, it's a bit longer. I actually really miss painting in the cafeterias, because now this really reminds me of that. Before whole COVID happening, I remember I went to cafeterias quite often because I enjoy good coffees and also enjoy painting. And there's often a really great variety of subjects available there. But sadly now I feel that I don't have time for that because I work full time. I definitely plan to refill this palette if I run out of any of the colors, because I've been really liking it. It's a whole paint and it's my only whole paint palette I have. I have some single whole paint colors in my collection, but not any kind of palette, so it has been new for me. At first I was thinking, when I got this palette, I was actually sure that I will change some colors. But now I've been feeling maybe not, because of course I want to add that permanent green number 1. I probably will switch to the leaf green, that really bright neon green from the Holbein. But other than that, the palette is really good. If you hear water sound, that is my washing machine. I actually have to leave the bathroom door open where the washing machine is, that because the washing machine is drying also my laundry. It's at the same time it dries air, so it's really good because we have had super humid weather for a whole week. Ooh, shell pink, yeah. I have the brilliant pink. But I think Holbein has really interesting colors, and they are something I like that even if they have mixes, I think all of their colors feel really even in the sense that the properties are quite even. Even if it's, of course, it depends pigment by pigment, but I feel that especially in this set, all of the colors are really easy to re-wet and they behave quite similarly on the paper as well. But Holbein is definitely one of those brands I plan to explore more. But currently, I'm not buying new art supplies, so that's a bit limiting. But I'm firmly believing that I have enough watercolors for maybe necessarily not lifetime, but close to that. And I'm quite sure that I don't need more right now. But I will refill if I run out of any color in the palette. Oh, that's quite a bit too dark. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. When I get the other part of the bunny, it might be. I was thinking, what is my newest palette? It was the Rosa color I got, but it was more for like supporting the maker. But also the paint is really good. But I have been really trying to not getting new supplies because at one point I was getting really into. I was trying different mediums and always finding that I don't like them. So I ended up quite many art supplies I didn't use. I try to avoid that. Luckily I have now some friends that do painting and some people that would really love to get any supplies if I spare, so yeah, I have the travel palette thing. I don't know why. I always try to hunt that perfect travel palette. And when I travel, I usually have my Schminke palette or this palette with me. But still, I always have that itch to find new travel palettes. Somehow the travel palettes are small and cute. So I don't know, is that the thing? But they are really tempting. Really tempting to get them. Especially if you know that you are traveling, then it gets even more tempting. I remember when I was going to the Dublin. It's a long time ago. It was 2016, I think. Yeah, 2016 because I started this sketchbook there. And I was so sure that I tried to be on tight budget back then because I was still studying. But still I managed to get one travel palette I bought there. Hi Lana. Yeah, Boxer, but I'm saying like, even if I know, I will often take even this palette or the Schminke 24 set, and yeah, it's like the cutest water cup I have ever seen. I'm using whole paints. I have sticker thick Watercolors 24 set. Yeah, travel palettes are like, they're just so cute. I like them a lot. But when I'm painting bigger project, I usually enjoy really large palettes with big mixing spaces. That's a bit too dark, I think. Maybe not. It is, and also in the wrong place. You know, this mop brush is really great for mopping color. Hi Jill! No, you're not late at all. Like, we just started a few minutes ago. I actually started like 5 minutes late or something. Because I had so many technical difficulties on the stream. It was like, I had to resort to my plan B. And my table is so small that I feel really cramped. I was worried that I didn't pick enough reference photos for this stream, and it's like half an hour and I'm still in the first bunny. That's a good thing. Oh, that's really great if the parallel screws together, because I hate that some travel brushes have the like really wobbly handles. But still, my favorite one is this one. Like, zip, and then it goes big. I have been thinking I want to have more travel brushes, but actually I usually travel with this. Just this one. Chill, I'm using whole paint. I usually don't use whole paint. This is my only whole paint palette I have. It was also the smallest, and I think it's one of my most versatile palettes, so I was thinking it's a good pick for the stream. I really like this color selection. It's something I think I'm going to mix some brown. But because I have a really limited desk space right now, I was thinking that I need to pick small palette. It's either this palette, or I was thinking also the one that have 12 Schminke not Horadams, Academies. They are also a really small palette. But with Academies I feel that even if their color selection is good, I find that I need to constantly mix with that palette. and it sometimes breaks my flow when I'm painting. If I have to like every time when I'm needing new color mix something, it's really, also the mixing space is really small on that palette, so it's not, it's good, but it's has his sides. But with this whole pen palette I feel that there's enough mixing space and also enough colors that I don't need to constantly mix. Because I think the Schminke Academy has only one brown. Or two, if I'm not mistaken. I'm really trying to get the 3D shape of the bunny's head because the ears are a bit, I think it's bunny is pulling them a little bit back, so I want to really clearly emphasize that they are not like coming directly from the front, they are on the back. Yeah, it's really great color section. I like it, and it's, even if I feel that it's more geared towards anime paintings, like it has Horizon Blue, which is really opaque, also Lavender, Lilac, and Brilliant Pink. Colors I wouldn't pick myself, but this palette is one of those that has really grown on me. Like really, I really like painting with this palette. It's weird because when I first got this, I was like, oh, I was like thinking, okay, I will replace those colors, but I have found use all of them. Even if I feel it has a bit too many reds, but I may adjust later if I find need. Okay, it seems like neighborhood kids are on their yard, and Ruka is. Oh, it's my boyfriend coming home. So that's why he was. Yeah, that's true, Lana. Like, I really like when the art supply surprise me in the good way. They can surprise me in the bad way, but I like when they do that in the good way. It's funny that sometimes when I get, actually I had a nice surprise a while back too, because I got the Pentel Sing brush pen because my local bookstore was carrying those, and I didn't have high hopes for it. I actually got it for the practicing the what is called the workbook from Alfonso Dun. But I actually really liked the brush, and then I actually ended up getting 3 more. All the blacks, like I had the fine, medium, and white now. And it was one of those art supplies that really surprises me in the good way, like this palette. I have to be really careful here to make this look hair and not like bunny has muddy face. It happens a lot because bunnies have darker nose area and mouth area usually. It's one of those places that can often, if it's painted incorrectly, it may start to look like they have not washed their face. Ooh, pastel colors from Turner. I haven't tried Turner watercolors, but I think I will try them. I have been also feeling that pastel colors have been something I have been overlooking a while now, and they definitely have their use. So I think I will use them more in the future. Especially actually I find the pink really useful in the skin tones. I try to keep my eyes on the reference photo so I don't accidentally add here something there isn't. I was eyeing I don't remember what maker, some paint maker had pastel set, and I was like, that's interesting, but I didn't get it, but I don't remember what was it. Because at one point I was thinking I don't need pastel colors because I rarely use them on my own paintings, like they purest form, but they're really useful in the mixes. And actually where I get to know the pastel colors better was when I was painting gouaches, because the Himi gouache that I have has quite many pastel tones. Oh, 40 Turner. Yeah, Turner had Turner has those really small and like chunky tubes, if I remember correctly. Sadly lately I have had hard time to get art supplies because all the shipping prices are increasing so much, and also the Brexit really changed everything, because I don't have easy access to Jackson's anymore. Even if the Jackson's does the customs on my behalf, but it's really affected to the prices. I really want to paint the eyes to this bunny, but I know that they will get washed down when I add other details. Oh, they're inexpensive. They don't move a lot in the water. Oh, that's interesting. I have to think. I really want to try those, because now I'm thinking there's one Finnish online store that sells Turners, if I'm not mistaken. I will try to make the effect look this bunny fluffy. His face looks a bit dirty. Yeah, I'm one of those that I paint quite. I like that my paint stays where I put it, so I often like colors that doesn't move too much. And ironically, my main palette is core. So, and if you don't know, core is one of those colors that is crazy moving in the water. This one is first looking really coarse because I'm definitely out of shape in terms of painting fur because I haven't painted quite a while. I could have rendered that fur a little bit better. It's really, I find it really interesting that there's some brands that are eye crap when I have certain feeling. Like I usually go with the core when I want something really colorful and punchy, and if I want something something like really realistic, I usually go with the Schminke because the Schminke palette I have has excellent color selection. It's the 24 Horadam and I have been tweaked it myself a bit. I think that has like perfect balance. But sometimes when I'm really adventurous, I just like go with the handmade or the palette I have from Roman Small. So it's like, yeah, it's interesting. But core for me is the punchy one. It also I don't know. Even if they flow really, I would say fast, unpredictable ways, I still find them easy to paint with. But they are, I think, one of my most painted watercolors, so it might explain it why I find them predictable. Because I know that the other, it's really common that they are unpredictable. If that makes even sense. Chill, yeah, that's a like need to try all the paints because they are good for different things. Yeah, that's true. And also that's one thing I think I need to have. At one point I was thinking I could just use one palette, but then later I realized that it's not going to work. I actually have really handy drawer on my art desk. It's like secretary desk. It has the first drawer is really shallow. You can just fit watercolor palette in it, like in the depth, and it's good. It's really big drawer. It's also full now. So, I don't have space for new palettes. But it's interesting. I really like trying new paints. Even if I have been trying really limit myself lately because I have way too much supplies and quite a little storage. Especially now I have only one desk. I have even less storage space. I think it's time for giving the eyes for this bunny because it looks so odd without the eye. I'm sorry if my head comes to the shot because I need to lean in closer. I also think I sketched this eye way too small. The other one I sketched it here. Yeah, it's here. It's funny that bunnies look often really angry when you paint them directly from the front. And those weird jeep sound on the background is my boyfriend playing PS5 because he's in the downstairs. I'm sure we'll make even pick the voice up, but I could hear that. I love when I'm painting the mouth of the bunny. He looks so serious. Oh. Sorry, I forgot to read the chat. Yeah, Boxer Paint, I have a similar palette for pans because I usually buy colors in the pans. I have one palette that had like a really mixed collection of pans. It's like not together put palette, it's just like mixed pans. It's horrible. I sometimes pick some pan there and put it on the other palettes, but it's like one of those palettes that if I take it out and try to paint it, it would not work. Boxer Paint said, Bunny looks like he opened the cupboard door at 4:03 a.m. and there was no coffee. Yeah. That's really accurate. Yeah. I was actually thinking adding more to it, but now it has face. I feel that it looks good. But I still want to continue because I feel that it can be better. But I have a weird thing usually when I paint that when I'm like adding some details like mouth and eyes, I start to get really anxious that I will ruin the piece by painting it more. So now I'm trying not to let that feeling get to me. Because I feel I have still something to give to this painting. Hi Lee, thanks. Yeah, I think it's really horror, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's really nice. And the reference photo, actually the bunny doesn't looking this angry, but this bunny definitely didn't find coffee in the cupboard. I will probably look same, because I'm really coffee addict. Like, especially in the work, I'm like, I need to get my morning coffee before I'm good to talk to. Like without coffee, I'm really grumpy. Interesting in this palette is that this doesn't have white, because I was almost certain it would have white in it, but nope, it doesn't have white. I will get some white gel pen here so I can some highlight to the eyes. I'm giving his fur a little bit softer, so I'm giving it light wash of sepia over it. Yeah, my yard is not fenced, and I was actually planning to fence that, but I'm not sure will I fence it or not. But there's quite many horrors. And one night there was just like one hare, and then next night the horror was with the friends. It's funny. Even if I have dog, like I have Ruka, and Ruka has been on the backyard, so it should be like the rabbits definitely going to smell Ruka here there, but they seem to not care. Also, Ruka is really friendly to the bunnies. He doesn't care about them. He doesn't bark them or anything like that. I think I need to work a little bit of this neck area. is actually one of those areas I go different ways than the reference photo because in the bunny has white hair underneath his cheeks. I actually didn't paint those. Also his jaw is white, but it makes really odd looking shape of the head, so I prefer to paint it like dark fur so I can better better like communicate the form. Ruka was chewing something. I have to cough. He's really funny dog. Usually when he chews something, he at some point it will be he's like joking to it. Time for the white highlights. Let's hope I pick the right one. Yeah, this is size 10, so it should be the biggest one. Now he looks a little bit less angry, but angry still. I will switch the reference photo. Okay, next we have a loppani. And my purpose was pick different looking bunnies with different colors and fur, and this one is grey. Which is not good for this palette because it does not have pre-mixed grey. I'm actually really tempted to sketch with the Twispy because this one has grey ink in it. I will go with the first with the pencil. I'm not feeling too adventurous today. And this is lob-eared rabbit or bunny. This has quite strong cheeks actually. Usually the lob-eared bunnies have really soft type of fur and it's really thick, so they often may look more like chunkier. And actually I can see from the size of his ear that this is actually a dwarf lob-eared bunny. Oh, chill. That's we have several fat rabbits that are in your yard a lot, and one even jumped right over the garden fence in the garden beds. The bobcat? Oh, bobcat is probably more interested about those rabbits than garden. I'm actually planning to plant some garden beds on my backyard, but I probably need to fence them well and put some nest because I have quite many birds and bunny, rabbits on my backyard. Oh, so you're on the hill. Yeah, I like live in the city. I like to think it that way, but I'm sure probably the Finnish cities are a little bit different concerned. I'm not living in the city center, but this is area that has small houses right next to each other. Like my other neighbor's wall is like 2 meters away from me, so it's like really close, and we are like forming the 4 houses we are on the same lot, and then there's other houses. So I think my yard is like 20 meter times 10 meter, so not big. But I still plan to put a greenhouse on my backyard. I decided that I will fit it there. Some way or the other, I will fit it there. Because I want the greenhouse. I want to have my own veggies growing in the greenhouse. Even if I can't eat many veggies, but I still want to grow them. Oh, bunny is dropping in the pool. Okay, that's interesting. I have actually a funny story. My grandpa was on fishing, and then he saw something in the waters, and he described that it was looking like a monster and had like long wavy things, and then it jumps on the strand. Strand is in the like on the came out of the water, and it was Hare that was swim across the river. And it just like shake all the water off and just like continue jumping. But my grandpa was at first sure that he will now encounter some sea, like some like monster creature. Yeah, I have plans on that. I'm really hoping that I can get it going. Sadly, we moved so late here that but Ruka, you're whining. Why? Ruk. Mitä asiaa? Oh, Ruka wanted some pets. Oh. Ruk. I just love petting Ruka because he's so big and fluffy. And soft. His fur is really soft. Yep. Well, no more pets. Yeah, you can go downstairs. Ruka is standing in where the stairs like start, and he's like watching into the stairs and whining. What's there? No, there's nothing. There's fluff of your own hair on the stairs. How? I vacuumed today. There's like pile of floof on the stairs, and Ruga was whining for that. Yeah, actually, my backyard is facing to the south, so it's really toasty, and there's not much trees to shade it. So I may have quite good tropical place to grow veggies. I'm also thinking I may add some flowers, but those need to be flowers that can tolerate the toast. Because I actually burnt my aloe inside. It was sitting on the upstairs window and it got burnt. And it's possible in Finland to burn aloe. But actually when I was just talking this in the Eve's Discord, I discovered that aloe is actually not so good for the toasty south-facing windows, because it actually enjoys some shade when it's younger. Which is really interesting, because I usually when I'm looking info about plants, I look it in Finnish, because of course if I look it in the English it's more, because we have quite different climate here. But aloe is one of those plants that is always ranked as heat tolerant and sun loving plants that can thrive on the south window. Apparently not my south window. So I need to probably need to move the little that is left on the aloe and get something. I was thinking maybe cacti and succulents. Now I have Sanchivera there, and I think it's one palm type of plant, Drachner. Oh, goat swimming sounds really bizarre as well. Yeah, I was thinking the aloe was not prepared, because in my previous apartment it lived on the kitchen, and it was north-facing window, and there was the other building was shading that window, and it was really shady location. Sun never shined there. And now I was a bit stupid. Of course I know that it would need some adjustment. I just put it on the south-facing window, which has no shade. It's upstairs window, so it's like it got scorched. It's like really burnt. It's not brown and brittle. So yeah. My aloe is quite old, so it has been quite a long time with me. I have to take many pups, or what do you call them? Like the small things it grows. Like you can take them out and put them on the water, and then they will root, and you can just like put them on the soil and make another aloe plant. I think my aloe is actually not the original one, because at one point I had 3 aloes. Let's see how this goes. I'm trying to do this as inky, because I don't have gray in the watercolors, and I happen to have the gray ink in the fountain pen here. I have one succulent, it's really tiny, and it used to live under my plant light on the top shelf, and now it's on the south window. I probably need to get more of the succulents type of plants there because it's so sunny location. Most of my plants are on the first floor, but in the first floor, the upper level, like the porch thing, shades them, so it didn't like direct sunshine all day, like in the upstairs window. But I have a feeling that I need some other plants on the that can tolerate the heat. Funny enough, my previous apartment also had south-facing window, and I had all my plants there. But because it was in the apartment complex and there was like trees and stuff, and it was like not scorching midday sun, everything was fine. I also had curtain on that. But with the current apartment, it's a bit different story. It seems like the upstairs window is really hot place. I hope the Sansevieria will be surviving. It's really tough plant, so I may need to get a friend for it. But definitely my calatheas and orchids are staying downstairs. Also calatheas are on the east-facing windows. Really small east-facing windows, but because they are one of those plants that really don't like too much sun. Yeah, that's interesting. Many plants do that. When they get too much sun, they go red in the foliage, and I think orchids really do that as well. I have some orchids that have turned their leaves quite dark, almost purplish. And that's also what I do look in calatheas, that their underside of their leaf should be purplish, and that's a sign that they are getting right amount of light. If they get too little, it will be green and their markings will fade. Because my favorite plants are orchids. It's really hard because the most orchids like bright light but indirect. They will be scorched in the direct sunlight. I'm a bit worried that my orchids might be scorched in the downstairs as well. If that happens, I have to shade them somehow. I have blinds there, but I don't like using them. Especially because we live in area that we don't have street near our windows, so actually none of our windows point into the street, so we can have blinds off. In my previous apartment, because it was first floor in the apartment complex and the common yard and street on the other side, we always had blind down. Not turned like darkened, but they were there. Oh, frosted window. Yeah, the succulents getting leggy used to be my problem on my previous apartment. Even if it found the south-facing window, they get super leggy, and it was really... succulent doesn't look good when they get leggy, so... I'm quite happy that now I have the probably perfect window for the succulents, so I can get some cool succulents there. Because I have seen some really cool ones. And also I like the ones that have like really reddish tones in them. Most of my other plants are the plants that like bright but indirect light, so has taken some planning to find place for them. And also I'll be keeping close eye of them, that if they show any sign that they are not happy, I will move them. Ooh, philodendrons. I have many philodendrons. I think I have the regular golden pothos. Then I have or was the pothos part of philodendron? I don't know. But yeah, I have golden pothos. Then I have enjoy. Then I have jade. Then I have the what's the other one? I have the green one, the globe something, and I think I have all the most common and some not so common varieties. But it's really dangerous to get in because I have micans, because I get that collect them all wipes. Like I want to get all of the philodendrons. Interesting. Does my mug has waterproof ink? It's not moving much. What? How is that possible? It's fountain penning. It shouldn't be waterproof. I've only one waterproof fountain penning and it's sample, and I'm definitely not putting it on the WAC because WAC is really hard to fill with the samples. Oh. Interesting. It's quite waterproof. And my plan was like paint it out, so it's not working. Ooh, little pots. Those are really interesting. I have been also thinking getting 3 of those as well. Now I have to think. I don't want to overpaint this with the watercolors because I have only the black and I'm too lazy to mix the gray. I will get one sec. I will get a brush pen that has gray ink in it. So it's Pentel brush pen. That's really interesting. I want to look more. Why it isn't? isn't moving the ink because it shouldn't be waterproof. I would never put anything waterproof in the back because back is really hard to clean. That's quite water resistant ink for fountain pen ink, like it's bleeds a little but not too much. That's really interesting because I remember the ink is Mont Blanc. Also, I actually like plants that grow slowly because I like keep my plants small. I have quite many calatheas and stormantes. Yeah, that boxwood. That was. I was thinking like, how? It's wet here, and I can't even spread it. Maybe it's the paper because this is. First I'm using it watercolor paper, so maybe it somehow sinks into sizing or something. That's weird. But yeah, I have many calatheas and stormante and some marcantas, and those are all in the cute small pots, and I will be sad when they grow big. Like, I want to keep them small. This one has grey, so I need to check. Is it similar looking grey? I remember this being quite close to the... it's a bit different, but... Let's still use it. I'm still bothered by this font opening, like how it can be this waterproof. Peperomia. No, I don't know anything about peperomias because I think I don't have any of those. But I know many plants, especially orchids, can form hybrids. So definitely I think they could crossbreed as well. Like I have, it's hard because a few of my plants flower, so they would be like cross-pollinate. But I think if you can pollinate them, they could definitely crossbreed. I have been actually having really interesting test going on with my golden pothos. I had actually had to cut one of my golden pothos into cuttings and reroute them. And interestingly enough, I also had to cut my lime pothos, and it had some leaves that had a regular green in them. So I'm now interested to try out, can I make different looking photos out of it? because I know that often when you take cuttings of the plants that have variegation, the node the vine is growing will be the one that determines the variegation of the last will determine the whole like branch variegation. So I'm really interested to try. Do I get that really interesting looking photos now? I know this ink will be blendable with water, so I will blend it. Towards that end. Yeah, it's like one other plant that is really eager to root is the... What? Look, it doesn't... It has to be the paper because this Pentel brush pen is really easy to rivet, but now it's like not riveting at all. Rather is the Wandering Jew. I had one cutting of Wandering Jew. Fell into my Enjoy spot. Now the Enjoy has one Wandering Jew growing in same pot. That's so interesting. I can't even blend the water. That's so strange. Why it does that? It's so weird. Like really weird. Because this is something... It is Pentel watercolor brush. It's watercolor. It should be... What's going on? This paper is really weird. Yeah, look. It's like... Hi, painting hiding. Yeah, it's bunny. 2 bunnies. And weird paper. Why it does that? It's really annoying because I was going to use it for blending. It's my water bucket. That's so bizarre. I have never seen paper acting like that. It dries really fast. Like super fast and sets it in the paper. Why this paper does that? It shouldn't be working that way. Like, okay, I try to go then on wet wash. That is so weird on the paper. Oh, thanks, painting honey. Yeah, the palette is really cute. I like it, and I think the color selection is really good, and it's actually great for if you want to do some cute illustrations. Yeah, I have a few wandering Jews as well, but I actually plan to maybe discard all of them because there seems to be one plant that never looks nice in my care. I had one that was really huge, it got really leggy, and I had to like cut it and I tried to replant it on a smaller container, and then it's like, nah, it just doesn't grow pretty. I need to be either be constantly trimming them or they will not be. And I can't get them looking bushy at all. Also, I had that Rio variation, which is like variegation. But it's just, it was really hard because I had to cut. It just tried to do all white leaves, and because those don't have chlorophyll, the plants like slowly kill it itself. So, not good thing. They seem to be one of those plants that are really pretty, but not for me. And being one of those plants that just doesn't like being in my care. I like plants that grow slowly and doesn't need a lot of trimming, like calatheas and orchids. But with the calatheas, oh, they are spider mite magnets. Like, I actually find few spider mites in my new calatheas, and I was like ready to cry. I took them in the bathroom and blasted them with the water stream, so all of the bugs got off. And now quarantined them in my bathroom actually, because I have the window there as well, and it's east facing. So it's perfect light for them, and they are perfectly away from my other plants. But I'm planning to give them some neem oil because I'm just not wanting any pets in my collection anymore. Sadly, it would be nice to have the really gradient wash here. But no, I can't have it because the paper's acting really weird. And this should still look nice, even to look less smooth now. Yeah, that's the main thing in the terrariums, that the creatures are not getting out, so that's good. I have one plant terrarium in my bedroom, but it's not fully planted. It has been fully planted, but it just somehow never started to thrive, so I resorted to having stones on the bottom and then having some plants in the regular pots in it. And of course I have the aquarium there as well, which I actually need to make some. I was thinking I may order online some new plants for it, because some plants got dead to remove. And also at one point I didn't have my CO2 system there, so some plants didn't succeed. And if they are small creatures, they actually can be traveling with soil. So here is the second bunny. Yeah, I have half an hour left. this way. It's so... I'm still baffled with this paper. Like, let's test on the other side. Bunnies are now on the upside down, but let's do some testing. Why this paper? I'm wetting this paper now really well. And this has found opening, so it should be spreading in the water. That's weird. It's like, it feels like it's setting inside the paper, like, that's odd, really odd. I'm also running out of, well, I should say I was running out of space for plants, but now I live in a bigger house and I still have some places for plants. But I try to keep myself out of the getting more plants because calatheas grow and they will be quite big plants when they grow up. And I have quite many of those small cute calatheas. And I have a bad feeling that they should not be cute anymore. Same goes with all the pothoses, they are philodendrons. I actually have pink princess as well. It's just so weird, like... Yeah, I can spread it if I paint directly on wet on this one, but usually when I paint with this brush, I can paint and then spread the color with the water brush. I also have plans to do some plant paintings. Because, oh, now I have this page wet, so I shouldn't be closing the sketchbook yet. It will be getting smudge if I do that. Let's wait a bit, this one to try. Yeah, yeah, box of it, definitely. But this is, it's Moleskine sketchbook, I think. Yeah, it's Moleskine. Really old Moleskine. But why it does that? Why? It's weird, like... I have to now check. Like, if I have watercolor, let's... For the sake of testing, let's pick something really bright, like the ultramarine deep color. We all know how it works. And I will let that dry and then test again. That's so bizarre. I've never seen watercolor paper behave like this. Yeah, definitely good for if you want to do line art with fountain pen ink that is not waterproof, but it's really bad if you want to do ink wash. And I'm baffled how it made this one waterproof, because it's this is like Pentel water brush with the watercolor brush with the gray, and this is really water soluble, like really easily soluble in the water. I'm waiting this entirely to dry, and then let's try play it. Yeah, it's spread like no problem. That's so odd. Like, what can cause that? I'm just confused. Like, I'm deeply confused. Like, why? Why it works like that? Yeah, it's definitely not like soak up the humidity or anything, and it's this old sketchbook, but it just acts very weird. I'm putting some highlight with the white here because couldn't do the wash here. I was planning to do like light grey wash here on this array. That's so weird. Why this paper behaves like that? I know this is cellulose paper, and this is from the Moleskine, so it's really, I would say, basic grade of cellulose paper. It has nothing special attributes to it. And I have been painting the watercolor paper, like drawing with the fountain pens and doing ink wash. So why it don't do that right now? It is so weird. I'm baffled. Like why it works? Why it works like that? It shouldn't be working like that. So it's like confusing. Actually, I'm not going to start a new sketch, but let's go through the sketchbook. Like you can see, there are some pages, so you will have a tiny sketchbook tour. Oh, this one I remember. This is 2016, and I was then going into Dublin, and I painted this at the airport. 5:40. So it was super early. I think this was maybe in the plane. At least it looked like that. And these are some super quick sketches. These are like from 6 years ago. Some coffee and traffic lights. I'm sad that I didn't color this in. I clearly had coloring supplies with me, so probably didn't have time. Then we have some portraits. I still enjoy painting portraits. This is more experimental. I think this was one of the challenges I made, if I remember correctly. This is really funny because I actually didn't open the sketchbook before I was painting, and I knew I have the sketchbook somewhere, but I have zero. I know I have the traveling sketches here, but this part, nope. I don't have any clue what there is. I hope there's nothing personal notes in here. I know there's the information on the front, so. Oh, eye painting. And then some portraits. At one point I was really drawing portraits. Many portraits. Nothing else. And there was always head floating in emptiness and really like, oh, this is interesting. I think I have painted this with something like some crappy brush or something. It looks really interesting. But I like it. And here's some testing. These seems not to be fountain pens. More portraits. And this one. This one I really like. And it has ink lines. Funny thing is, I still think that I can draw I can do portraits, that I can't get the, you know, the other eye right. Yeah, it's a bit wonky here, but it's not that far off. And this is an old one, so I probably can draw better. Oh. Okay. Here's black. And it has a little bit blue and it says shadows. I brought some fair paintings. This one too. This feels like gouache. I'm actually really tempted to dip the brush and test it out. Yeah, I can re-wet this. It's really old gouache. Yeah, I usually go with the mohawks when I draw the high hair, and no surprise that I kind of have a mohawk right now for myself. Really low, and I still have hair on the sides, but oh, this one I remember. I was we were camping in the cabin, and I was painting this in the morning, and I think I had video as well. Here I have been... Ooh, interesting! Here I have been clearly trying to do ink wash, but look what the lines have made. They are like bleed out but not washed. Interesting. Does this paper like behave like... I was actually more inclined to the theory that this paper is like... Oh, I can get... Ooh! This one I can get some blues out. Yeah. But with there... Not so much. A little bit. And the brown. Interesting. But I clearly had... I'm clearly trying to do ink wash here and it didn't work. So paper has been always like that. That's interesting. I now like want to do some scientific experiments on this paper. And more portraits. At one point I remember that I was really drawing on the like piercings on the portraits. This one I like. I think the skin color is really well here. I actually missed all of these like really piercing, heavy and mohawk portraits, because at one point it was like kind of like my style. Oh, this one is really dark. And it's landscape. I didn't know I did landscape in the sketchbook. I was thinking it's new thing that I like never painted landscapes. Yeah, it's like snowy landscape. Oh, I have another portrait, wintry portrait. It has some sparkles in it. And then clearly some kind of... I think this was Christmas time and I was thinking to do Christmas cards, so I was trying out some ideas. So really sparkly. Sparkly is there. This one I remember. I have bigger painting with this idea. This frame here is actually stamp, and I was painting small portraits in it, and I remember I painted this in the bigger scale as well. Here's also really icy portraits that has like the sparkly stuff going on. I like the note. And here I have been trying something like background, and it's not the head floating in emptiness. Oh, that's beep 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 sound is my washing machine. Oh. Quite dark, I would say, and sad. Oh, this one I like. The hair is working really well. I can see that I have used the brown and blue for the shading. Oh, more portraits. I have no idea where I did that. This is really familiar. I really like drawing a mohawk on the side view and headphones. Also, I recognize this is probably something. It's really bright purple. I don't know what it is. It looks like neon purple. I don't have neon purple watercolor. Oh, you have a bunny. Yeah, it's bunny in the snow, grass, and the eye, green eye. And I actually recognize this eye. It's my own eye. I have a stylized version. I have a quite dark ring around it, and it's like a bit thicker, but it's also brown in the middle and green on the edges. Yeah, the blue mohawk was really great. I was even seeing these old sketches had made me really wanting to grab my because I remember I used to draw the portraits with the highlighters and fountain pens, and I want to get back on that. Oh, we have orchids. This is from the newer one. Smaller portrait. Oh, I recognize this. I had other sketch on the other sketchbook that had similar pattern. And here I have been practicing Loomis. Da Vinci? Da Vinci? I don't have Da Vinci. Or do I have? Maybe I have a Da Vinci palette. That's a funny thing, like I'm thinking, do I have Da Vinci? No, I don't think I don't have Da Vinci. Maybe this is like from dot sample or something. Good night, painting hiding. I will be soon going as well, because I have been streaming 2 hours. And it's quite late here as well. But the Da Vinci? I don't have Da Vinci. It's really hard to get in Europe. And there is the cadmium yellow, Prussian blue, violet, red rose and queen orange. Those are clearly the colors I had in the palette, and I have been mixing the other colors. Interesting looking palette. I think I have been painting this with Da Vinci. Maybe, I don't know. But I like it. It's one of those really strong lights I can do. And then we get jump to the present day. I have few pages left on the sketchbook. Yeah. Oh, there's some. These are some serious neon paints. I really want to know what is this neon in my collection. It feels like gouache. Could be actually acrylic gouache. So bright. Oh, I have been gesso at this page. I was wondering why the paint is like crackling. But it's gesso. yeah, I think I will go into well, eat something and then go into bed as well. So thanks everybody for watching, and hope I see you in my other streams, and I really hope that next stream I can have bigger table, because this is a A5 size sketchbook and this is all the space I have in the table. Yeah, thanks for watching and bye.